You're watching the Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Sorry, I was jamming. Hi, everybody, welcome to To Skim It. My glasses are dirty. I love all y'all. Look at Triple B's here, and Kenneth's here. Mr. Nope. Don's here. Preston's here. Make Two. Castle. It's a party. Yes. Everyone wants to know the things.
Yes.
And it is a big release week. So many. Oh yeah. Here's a reminder. Put in your hashtag EXP thanks to be part of the giveaway. We'll do it some.
If you've won anything in the last 30 days, don't enter.
Nope.
If you're not in the continental United States, you are ineligible.
Yep.
And if you spell it wrong, you can't win.
Okay, let's say it this way. For myself only. If you ever win anything from me and you're overseas, if you're willing to pay for the shipping, you can totally have the thing. It's not the thing that we're worried about. It's the shipping is too expensive to do. So we're apologizing.
Continental United States and Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Good job, y'all. Perfect. Let's review some awesome books.
Okay. Where's my thingy at?
Hey, Steve. I like that your hat matches your shirt today, Jay.
I got it, Jay. Because JB struggling. Oh, and we have to edit the thing so that Miss Jen is back in it.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
She wasn't here last week.
I could be invisible.
We had to take her out. And then it creates a problem that I have to now fix live on the air. Because I forgot that this is going to be a problem.
Hi, Canadian.
Okay, and then we do like this.
This is a reminder while we're working on this stuff. Be a good friend. You know what I hear all the time from people that come into my store the first time is that, you know, I've been around for 14 years and people are like, man, I didn't know you existed. And I'm like, well, you need good friends that tell you about us. So be a good friend and tell your friends about this cool show and about our awesome EXP experience family of shows. Be everyone's hero. Ooh, it's Void Rivals time. That's me.
Hold on. Save. Now it's you.
I do think it's more fun to be like the disembodied voice.
It is.
Warlord's in the house. Hey, Warlord. Void Rivals is continuing to be awesome. You may have been like, man, I haven't seen a Void Rivals in a while. It was on a little bit of hiatus. They've been working on the Transformers, the G.I. Joe, and Duke, and Cobra Commander, and all the other stuff that's tying into this big Energon universe. So to catch you up, Void Rivals was the very first title out of all of those shared universe stuff, and focuses in on two people who crash land on a planet and end up needing each other to escape from there. They end up in one of their, respective home planets. By the way, there are people that are at war with each other and don't like each other at all. And we found out at the end of issue number 6 that actually those peoples that are separate now and hate each other really severely used to be one person, one people. And one of their leaders desperately doesn't want everybody to know this. Probably messes up his power. And our two main characters have run away and are trying to make it somewhere else on the planet. And so this is them doing that. And it introduces this crazy character that's on the front cover who basically gets assembled, and I'm letting you figure that out, gets assembled and then gets sent out after them so they can be destroyed. So wherever they're going and whatever will happen, they definitely don't want to have happen. So it's awesome. Jump in. You don't have to know anything about Transformers or G.I. Joe because they don't really ever show up in these stories except for like, oh, look, here's an arm. So just enjoy Void Rivals for what it is, which is an awesome tale.
And because Miss Jen reads more than we do, I like to get her double duty out of the way. So guess what?
Okay, I know a lot of people were, that they've read the other Peach Momoko storylines that she has done both the art and writing for Marvel and have liked them okay. It's the Demon War stuff that they've been doing and weren't really sure whether this title specifically, Ultimate X-Men, would be as strong as the other Ultimate offerings that have come out, Spider-Man and Black Panther. And I will tell you, I was one of those people that was a little bit worried about it because, it's a different kind of storytelling. Most of their storytelling takes place in like a Japanese style culture. So, and it's really beautiful, but it sometimes doesn't match to me. But this one is so awesome. Oh my gosh. So it focuses in on this character that's on the cover here. It's a sweet girl who is, meet her on her, she's graduating from middle school is basically what's happening. And she shows up, basically you find out she doesn't show up very much to the actual school. She spends a lot of time doing her school from home. So she doesn't have a lot of friends and you get to see all those awkwardnesses with her. But through the storytelling here, you find out that there was a big tragedy that happened in her life with a fellow schoolmate. And there is this weird, like in a lot of like Japanese culture tales, it seems like maybe it's a dark spirit that shows up and starts talking to her and starts telling her about, it obviously knows all of these, she has regrets. She didn't step up to help this classmate. And so you still, by the end of the book, do have no idea who that is, but she also, you get to see on the cover there, she has like something that looks like it's around her. You'll find out what that is. And near the very top of the image, you can see the kind of like this dark spirit creature that we're still not sure what it is. It's really cool. The very end of the book has a bunch of if you don't know about Japanese culture, here are the things that are mentioned in the book and what they mean. So I love that stuff where you're like, well, now I know things. I'm a smart person because you helped me out. So this is great. If you were worried about adding this to your pantheon of Ultimate titles and you were like, well, this one I'll probably be able to find on the rack because it's going to be the least popular, that might not be true. This one is really, really great. Surprised me a great bunch. Is Kyle reading the phone?
I actually kind of wasn't. We're working on the BCU event that's happening Saturday, and we had some folks fall out today. So we're trying to fill those times very quickly. So I was answering texts from potential guests on the experience. So I wasn't reading my phone. I was working. Also, not going to read Ultimate X-Men, so it's fine.
And I don't know how many covers there are for that title. I'm sorry, guys. I should know those answers, but I'm more of a reader and not as into the how many covers there are. Although I do appreciate the art that's in a book. I'm probably the least likely person to know how many variants there are in a thing because I'm always picking up whatever the cover that I like that looks cool.
Yes, Corey, he was reading. So this is Pine and Merrimack number 3. The site didn't have trade dress for it, but I thought this cover was super dope. So I'm like, I'm going to use this. So this one starts off with a flashback of a murder, and you find out Linnea is how I'm going to say her name. Can't really stomach crime scenes, but she's a very good detective. Unfortunately, it interferes too much with her work, and she decides she's going to quit the force and move away. And Parker, who I believe is her boyfriend at the time, he's like, okay, cool, let's do it. And she goes, I can't ask you to quit your job and just, leave everything here and just take off with me. And he goes, my job doesn't define me. but How Happy I Make You does. I love
My
Parker.
diabetes just got worse.
I know. I love Parker. Parker's awesome. Um, so we come back to the present, and they're sitting in a car, kind of like a stakeout situation. And Parker's kind of complaining about how boring it is. Um, but it kind of just confirms to me that he's only doing this for her. So it's sweet. Uh, they end up infiltrating this gathering, and you start to realize that the things that are going on, it's not just some kidnapping or sex trafficking ring. It's something a lot more sinister. And that's where I'm going to leave this one. Man, this has just been a fantastic twisty turny story. Again, Kyle Starks just has a way of writing that every issue feels like a cliffhanger, and I can't wait for the next one. Like, I got to the end of this one, and you know how when somebody shows you a picture, you do that weird thing where you tilt the picture like you're going to see more in it. I tried to scroll down more, even though that was the end of the book. I was like, maybe there might be something down there. No, but if you're into murder mysteries, I think you'll enjoy this one.
All right, Golgotha Motor Mountain,
Who's this by? What company?
Oni Press.
Oh, cool.
I had to send our friend Torma a text today going, hey man, can you talk to somebody about reformatting the way you do your PDFs? Because
No.
this was ridiculously hard to read. Not because the book is bad, but because the PDF was formatted like a blind monkey did it.
So you're
Like,
saying this is much better to read as a book instead of
Yeah, you're
scrolling.
gonna want to buy the book on this one. Don't read the PDFs. Like I said, if the blind monkey never had any InDesign training, this would have been how it was laid out. This is essentially Mad Max meets Breaking Bad meets, you know, that thing from Legends of Tomorrow where they figure out how Vandal Savage got his powers from the meteorite? That. So, like, if we want to go mainstream cuts, then a ridiculously deep cut, we'll do that. So basically, you have these two brothers in Golgotha, Tennessee, or Kentucky, I forget, one of those, Appalachia, who are cooking meth. And they wear these helmets so that they can cook the meth without getting all methed out. They don't even sell it. They're literally just the manufacturer. And this big chunk of space rock falls out of the sky and destroys their meth.
Sounds like a cautionary tale.
I'll be honest, it's really mean of you, Space Rock, because these guys were going to sell the meth and move to Cincinnati.
Why?
I've been to Cincinnati. I wouldn't. Basically, the rest of the book is them hatching their plan of how, because their meth has been destroyed, they're going to use the space rock.
Oh no.
Except that the space rock is not all that it appears.
What could go wrong?
Right. Like, you're already wearing these masks, and now you're dealing with a space rock. You think this ends well for you? We don't know, because actually the book ends before anything happens, other than them kind of hatching their plot. So, very interesting story, unique concept. It's not one that I think I've seen before. But again, read it as an actual comic book. Maybe don't read it as a PDF, because that's no fun. And like I said, it's make sure you take the time. Like, one of the other things about this book that's super important is make sure you take the time to read everything and then look at the pictures, like, closely. Because there are a lot of Easter eggs and little hints and notes that are in the panels that aren't written out. And at the same time, there are things that are definitely important that are only in the art that you can't really notice otherwise. So make sure you just really take your time on this one. Normally I can read these books in about 15 to 20 minutes. Like if I'm reading for context, like one of the other books later I just skimmed. But if I'm actually heavily reading, I can read in about 15. This one took me about 45. So just take your time and go really slow. And again, don't read the PDF until Torma gets them fixed.
Preston's put up a cool thing. Blind Monkey sounds like the name for a comic strip or a publisher. All right, everyone put up your favorite publisher name that's ridiculous. Mine was Space Goat Press or whatever it was. That was really funny. I like Space Goat. What's y'all's favorite crazy one? Meanwhile, I'm going to give you this excellent review of Batman. It's Chip Zdarsky killing it in both stories. So there's 2 stories in this. As you see at the bottom there, it's to continue on with the Joker storyline. Dark Prisons basically is tied into everything that's been going on. Joker is in Arkham, and you find out that it looks like somebody has replaced Batman. Because Batman's actually in Arkham with him. He's talking. There's an actual Batman that's out there doing Batman things. That part is kind of trippy. And then you also still have Failsafe out there. And that is also weird because Failsafe is running around saying that he is Bruce. And that he goes down, he like overrode Failsafe's computer self and is now only Bruce, which I think that's a lie too. I don't know. No one knows where Bruce is. There are Batman running around. And then the second story deals more closely with Joker. And I'm guessing this is a psychologist that has been overseeing both Bruce while he's in Arkham and Joker. And it looks like this psychologist is messing with both of them hardcore and bringing out Batman as a persona who doesn't have those overriding like worries about like I can't go too far. I don't know much about killing people. That this is like full on. What if he didn't have any kind of things overriding those parts and just was a really good match for Joker, which Joker has a real hard on about. Super excited about that version of Batman that runs around every once in a while. So that story is awesome. So don't stop reading when you get past the first story. Read that and see if you can catch some more cool stuff in that storyline, which is amazing. And then you can tell me who's the real Batman. I need that. Big Dog Inc. You like that name? That's a good one. Kitchen Sink. Atomic Weenie. I don't know that one.
I mean, Daryl Makes Comics. Daryl Makes Comics is also just a good name because it's just like simple. It is.
And also,
like,
did you know that Daryl makes cookies?
He does. Also, Daryl makes good hugs at conventions.
Yeah, he's the best. And if you can ever corner his son, if you see him and his son together, who's an adult, of course, he's an amazing human being. And you should get to know him because he's an up-and-comer. All right, so...
Shout out to Amy Chu for making those introductions, right?
Oh, yeah. Amy's the best. She's always person like, you need to meet this person.
Right. I never would have met the DMC from Run DMC if it wasn't for her, so...
That's true. All right, Weapon X-Men. This one is an interesting concept. So in this storyline, one of the Phoenix / Jean Greys has gathered together 5 different versions of Wolverine from across different Earths. One is Logan, that you're used to, the kind of like the older man. One is the Wolverine that has like the stub arm. One is the Jane Howlett. One is the zombie Wolverine. And the last one is kind of like I don't know his name. He's kind of chubby and has like a goofy hairdo. So they were chosen by Jean / Phoenix because she believes they have really the best possible opportunity to go into find in whatever some Earth has been hiding Onslaught. And this is something that I had some kind of like trippy moment in my brain, because the way I remember the Onslaught storyline rolling out back in the 90s is what you found out is it was really Prof X. But the way they present it in this book is that it's really Magneto / Jean Grey smashed together. So I don't know if that's a lie or if that was something I just totally missed back in the 90s. Like I wasn't paying 100% attention, but I'm pretty sure I was. So anyway, neither here nor there. It's amazing. Read it all the way through. Lots of twists and turns. And the funniest dialogue, honestly, is from the zombie Wolverine, who Jean does something too, so he doesn't crave flesh quite so much, so he can actually focus on the task. But then also he still is hungry. Things he says are so funny.
Okay. This was the only press book. Who did the other book? Hold on. I'm now big confused. Anyway. So the deal with Night People is that this book could benefit from some linear storytelling. And again, this may have to do with the way the PDF is formatted. Just a second. But this is the one that I reached out to Torma about, because this is Oni. Golgotha was IDW. Anyway, this could use some linear storytelling. And what I can't tell is if I'm losing out on 2-page spreads because it's a PDF and not a book. But I think it's Demons meets I'm gonna forget their names. They drive off the car. They drive the car off the cliff at the end of the movie. Thelma and Louise, yes. Or this new book, Drive Away Dolls, or this new movie that just came out, Drive Away Dolls. Kind of feels like that. You have very dark, demonic kind of feelings, with some serial killery elements, some torture stuff. This book is nothing but a trigger warning for a lot of people. But also it's very good. It's very interesting storytelling. It jumps around a little bit much for me, before bringing everything together sort of at the end in a way that you kind of see why they were jumping around and setting things up. But it could have used a little bit more linear storytelling, in my opinion. Tell me about the two women who are holding hands on the cover. Then tell me about the disembodied heads that you see on the cover. Then tell me about this other character that's a big important part of the story. Don't give me a snippet of this, a snippet of that, a snippet of this, a snippet of that, and make me try and figure it out in my brain. Only to, at the very end, be like, you didn't see this? You clearly weren't reading well enough. Like, it really did feel like when they bring it all together, they're making fun of you for not having figured it out sooner. But it's an interesting take on sort of this Thelma and Louise, or I kept hearing the song "The Road Goes On Forever" in my brain when I was reading this, which is a story about a man and woman who go on the run and sell drugs and kill people. This is that, except it's two women, and I think they're demons. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But like I said, give me one plot line and finish it, and then start another plot line and finish it. It'd be helpful.
It does look like, I just kind of like thumbed through it. It does look like they're using color as a storytelling device. So that, that if you figure out that, okay, this next page is a totally different colorway, maybe we're jumping to something else. So that helps. Yeah,
but like I said, it just didn't feel cohesive. It felt all over the place.
They actually sent us all emails after the right at FOC saying, just warning us that it's like, this is definitely going to be one of those, like, keep it on the high shelf on release day books.
Yeah, I read this too. I got very heavy Thelma and Louise meets Quentin Tarantino meets Red Dragon a little bit with the culty religious stuff in it. I don't know if they're demons or just crazy, but some of the imagery kind of throws you off. So, I mean, I'd be down to read an issue 2 of this. So,
Okay. So I did not know what to think about this because this is What If Aliens. In this case, what if Paul Reiser's character survived, which, is a big emotional hit in the film because you're like, yeah, he got his dirty, dirty, dirty deeds.
It's the best part of the movie is when Paul Reiser dies.
I know. And what's so cool is that this was actually co-written with, I think, his son. So he actually wrote this book along with his son instead of it just being like some random writer, which is also super talented usually. So I'm sure all of his life he's like going, really, I think he was just misunderstood. So, and that's really what this does is like when you start reading the book, I will tell you the first 2 or 3 pages is a line for line redrawing, all the dialogue is exactly the same from the film, which is, it'll feel real good because you're like, I know exactly what they're going to say next. See? But when we get to a certain part in the storyline, when they can actually get him skedaddled out of there in a believable way that he survives that, it has a really cool tale about what he would have done. And what's neat about it is I really thought this was a what if, like a one shot, how they usually do them. But this one actually is going to continue on into another issue, which is good because they set up pretty cool storyline. So if you're a big fan of aliens and you're obsessed with all of that stuff, this would be perfect for you. Beautiful art. It's well written. It doesn't feel like, they gave the reins over to 2 people that don't know what they're doing, that just are doing like a vanity project. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like maybe this could have actually really happened because it does take into account also the effects of the third movie. So it manages to keep that in the storytelling, but still meanwhile allowing him to survive. So it's really cool.
Yeah, no, can I just take a moment? Marvel, if you're listening, finish the sentence. What if aliens...
What?
It used to be, what if the Marvel bullpen were the Fantastic Four? Or what if Cyclops wasn't such a moron? No. This is, what if aliens...
It's just way down there.
Well, but then the thing should be, what if Carter from Aliens had lived?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is, what if aliens dated predators? Like, we have no idea what you're doing. Be better.
And got rid of the fish people. Okay.
Did you really say that his mom cheered when Burke died? Oh, poor man.
So, Cruella de Vil number 2. I said it with every single Disney Dynamite book so far. These are all great. Cruella's still trying to get people to believe she's changed and she's good. She's still a dirtbag, but I don't think she's as evil as she could be. It still feels like they're holding back on her really being a villain. Yeah, she's mean. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be in an elevator with her, but she's more like annoying than evil. This issue is pretty funny because somebody gives her goats and the goats get into her clothes that she's going to donate for this auction, this charity auction. And the outcome is very different than you might think would happen. Kind of subverts what you think, but at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, okay. But then you get a little twist. You see who sends her the goats. You don't know. I've never seen this character before. So, like I said, the if you've been collecting the Disney Dynamite stuff, put this one on your list. It's still good. I just wish that they would put something in here that just really shows us why Cruella de Vil deserved her own comic. That's my only issue with the book. She's annoying, but she's not quite evil enough. But if you've been digging these, you should definitely pick this up.
Chris H, is that a short person jab? Just asking.
Last Ronin Revolution, or Last Ronin 2. So TMNT The Last Ronin was maybe the greatest thing that they've done with TMNT in a long time. And this book continues where that left off. But I will say this. This is more of a found family story than maybe the previous volume was. And the previous volume had a lot of that. But this is a little bit more everyone has sort of settled into their roles and are the new family, rather than sort of the we're trying to figure out how we got here, what our roles are kind of thing. I don't know that I liked this issue, this number 1, as much as I liked the previous volume number 1. If that makes any sense. It sort of feels like this should be a number 7 instead of a number 1. Like, the previous volume was 6 issues. This should be issue 7, not a new number 1. So, IDW, if you're listening, why? Just make it issue 7 so we all know what it is instead of thinking it's something different. Don't be that guy. But yeah, so because of that, it's a little disappointing. It really felt like maybe this was an opportunity to start something new in this universe with this group, but it's not. It just is a continuation, which isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. Still great. But maybe not so much with the meeting of expectations. So.
Ooh, Giant Size Spider-Gwen. There is stuff that's going on that's crazy in the Mary Janes, which is her band. It's really crazy. In the storyline, there's 2 stories in here, but the one I'm glomming onto is that Mary Jane, for reasons that I don't understand, got hold of part of the Cletus Cassidy Carnage symbiote, and randomly during act where it's supposed to be the lead singer or whatever, Carnage is out. The way that she looks is really cool, by the way, when she does it. And despite what you think, maybe the person that runs the bar where they're doing their gig, you think they would be like, oh man, you wrecked my stage. No, he's like, awesome. Can you do that next set? Because we killed it. Whatever. So this is kind of interesting. This is a little bit, I think from the way that it feels in the book, although it's not super overt, it's either super strong sister, like the bromance, but girlmance, or a fully on like beginning of a romance. I'm not 100% certain, but there's something between this version of Mary Jane and Spider-Gwen. And the art is just killer, and it is a giant size issue. It's really a lot of material, and I really liked it. For anybody that's into the Spider-Verse things or is jonesing for the next issue of what's the one they're running right now? I can't remember what it is. But anyway, this is the Spider-Verse series that's going on where they're introducing a bunch of new characters. They had number 1 a couple weeks ago. This is a good fills in the spot in your heart for the multiverse.
Okay. I don't get this book. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there. This is a number 2, but this reads like a number 1. I get it, but it's not a story that it doesn't have any supernatural elements to it. There's not like some bank heist that happens or anything. I don't know what these types of stories are called when it's just feels like someone telling a story. There's nothing.
Slice of life.
Slice of life?
See, I don't know that phrase, so that might be what this is. Maybe that's why I don't get it. But this is a story. It's told from a narrative standpoint, but I don't know if it's from a child's narrative who's talking about her family, like how her mom and dad met and how Tom Petty yelled at her dad at a concert. And then we get to see the young girl and her brother. I don't know if it's the young girl telling the story or if it's an older version of the young girl telling the story. Like I said, I picked it up based on the title alone is why I picked this up. Because I thought, oh, we're going to get some kind of story like that. And it was more or less her telling a story about her dad being a hothead and how he ran this junkyard and chop shop and he was in an accident and got brain damage and the family medical bills are shooting up to the hundreds of thousands. So when I got to that part, I was like, okay, cool. They're going to do some kind of bank heist or something. No, it's just about her mom trying to get money to pay for the medical bills. Now, again, this is number 2. Maybe if I go back and read issue 1, it'll kind of fill in some of the questions I have. But outside of that, this isn't a bad book. But if you're looking for something that is exciting, that sounds really terrible when I say it like that, but it doesn't feel like a heist or adventure kind of story. It just feels right now like it's just a straight through person talking about their past kind of story.
So maybe
like
for fans of like books like Ducks, that won the Eisners last year, where it's just them telling a tale about their life.
Yeah, see, I don't read enough books like this to really understand how to explain it. Almost everything I have is supernatural, bank heist, superhero, horror, things like that. So this was not a good book for me to read, but I would suggest people read this. I thought it was good. It's just for me personally, I don't read a whole lot of these, so I wasn't as into it as some other people might be. So
That's not a mermaid.
It is, though. So the thing about The Last Mermaid is that of the books I read this week, it maybe had the most cohesive storytelling, which was fantastic. That said, it has a fair amount of what I would call problems. Hold on. I'm trying to figure something is happening and I'm trying to figure it out. But it has a fair amount of problems, i.e. that it's all one storyteller. It's all one voice. There aren't multiple voices. The stakes are just kind of what the stakes are. You have the last mermaid who is living in this mech suit because the water is dangerous. She has to find fresh water every so often to keep herself alive. And the best character in this book is her pet axolotl called Lottie.
Oh,
Right, Lottie the axolotl. Make that a plushie, Image Comics.
I'm gonna put that on the cover. Dadgummit, that'll sell thousands.
Issue 2.
Okay.
But basically, she is searching for water this whole episode, and she winds up having an accident. But there's more to it than that. But you don't know what it is. Like, there's been nothing in this first issue to make you care about the characters, other than the desire to see them survive, which is this really interesting sort of thing, right? Like, I don't fully kind of grasp what the stakes are in this book. So again, I'm really interested to see it because she's in a mech suit. So clearly, like, there's some sort of technology here that we need to be aware of, but they don't explain any of it. So I'm waiting to see where this book goes. Also, it's a weird shape. You could tell by how much I'm overlapping the cover. Like it's like the book is square,
Huh.
or in like that little golden book size sort of frame. It's a really cool option. It's a really cool concept, but I think it falls victim to first issue syndrome, right? Where it's this exposition and not a lot of explanation.
Mhm.
So, but very cool concept.
Miss Marvel. I believe that this just picks up where the last series leaves off. They've kind of been doing this with Miss Marvel for a while, where they give her like 6 issues and then launch into the next story arc by giving her a new #1. I don't hate that as much as most people do. I'm cool with it because they all have a different subtitle, so you know how to keep them together in your collection. Although it doesn't help you if you want to know in what order to read them, except for the Fall of the House of X is probably a good hint. In this one, she has clearly had a crisis where she is worried about her actual identity being spoiled, all the while trying to figure out school. So this is as much a slice of life as you can get from Miss Marvel. She's, she has to admit that she has, before coming to school for the day, not to anyone except for other superheroes, that she's, already saved somebody, like you do on the way to school. But I really like her character because she feels so grounded, right? It's like if there was an actual superhero in the world, she feels like she'd most likely to succeed in my world. She has supportive family and the respect of her peers, those kinds of things. So it's not hard crisis for her. Like I don't like that when the book is always and forever like my family's in danger and my secret identity is going to be revealed and it's horrible. I just like the way this one's kind of a breath of fresh air always when it's just like this is just fun superhero storytelling. So I like her.
Is that Amon Villani that's been writing on this book too? The actress?
I know the last one. I don't know about this one. I can't see it. Let me see if it has on here. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, she's backup writer. That's right.
Oh, that's really cool. All right. Smatiment number 11.
What did you
Saturday
just say?
Morning Adventures. Smatiment.
So Smatiment. Okay.
Smatiment number 11. So if wasn't trying to break Miss Jen there, but so
I think that's going to be a new thing. We need to make shirts.
So I got to give credit to the very, very, very beginning of this book. There's a recap page. I love recap pages. I don't know if these are artist renditions of this like little news broadcast. It's a television. It's got a scene on it. If it is an artist, they need a raise. If it's just was someone's idea to use stills from the cartoon, still smart, still need a raise. It was a very awesome recap page. Either way, this is the cartoon in comic form. I love the art. I love the story. There's a ton of sweet references, not only to the cartoon, but to the video games. I hear the theme song in my head. I hear James Avery, rest in peace to him, and the rest of the voice cast for this. I was introduced to the Turtles by the cartoon before I ever knew about the comic or ever read the comic. So this just instantly transported me to the time before I had any worries. I was playing on the kitchen floor with my Mondo Gecko, my Turtle Cycle, my pizza launcher that I lost all the discs to like a month later.
They're under the couch.
Probably. But nostalgia alone, this was actually my favorite book this week. I really like the Pine and Merrimack book, don't get me wrong, but the book gives me feelings. It's so good. Like, it's if you don't even read the mainstream Turtles comics, you don't even have to worry about that. Like, I didn't read any of these yet, and this is number 11, and I enjoyed it. So, if you're a Turtles fan, or even a comic or a cartoon Turtles fan, check this one out. It's super fun. I really, really liked it.
Okay. So I feel like this is coming to an end. And I'm going to be both happy and sad about it. Happy because I'll be able to sleep at night, but sad because this great series will be done. If you haven't been paying attention to The Devil That Wears My Face, this is a story about a priest who, in the first issue, gets possessed by a demon. And this is at the time of, like, the Inquisition. So these priests have astronomical powers, right? They're basically unchecked. But imagine if one of them becomes a demon. And so far, it's been very interesting, kind of having real world sort of repercussions for this demon priest guy. For the things he does, having real world repercussions. In this issue, it starts to be a little otherworldly, which I don't know if was the intended purpose or if it was just an excuse for Alex Cormack to draw the devil. Either way, good choice. Because it's creepy. This book ends at like this kind of big, like, if this were a TV series, the end of this book would be like where they end the season and they like leave you hanging on this big cliffhanger because the thing that this demon has been working for the whole series pays off.
Woo-hoo.
So again, this feels like it's a cliffhanger. It feels like it's being left on the doorstep for the next thing. But I don't know if there's going to be. So I don't know that we can get away with it because just there are some interesting developments in this issue that mean that issue 6, if there is one, is just going to be, in the words of Kelly Kapoor, BANANAS, bananas.
Great quote. Oh,
is this the last
man.
book, Jay? Okay, so if you haven't entered the giveaway by putting hashtag EXP thanks in the comments, do it now. That goes no matter what platform you're watching on, with the exception of Instagram, you can enter. So put hashtag EXP thanks in the comments to get entered in the giveaway, and we will be giving that away as soon as Miss Jen is done reviewing this book.
So what that means is if you're watching from Instagram, bop over onto another platform and type it in now. And then go back.
Hello to all of the people or whoever watching on Twitter tonight.
Yeah. Glad to see. Okay. So you might not have known this book was coming, but man, you should definitely make sure that you're going to tell your LCS about it. So this is in the grand storytelling line of, if you ever read Spider-Men or Spider-Man 2, which pairs Peter and Miles together. This one is awesome because they have this idea of they want to hang out one day a week, but as normal people, no crime fighting, just chilling at the coffee shop. And of course, there are all kinds of complexities of that, which I will allow you to read and totally enjoy. The part that I like the most about this book is there is this whole through line in which Peter's entire goal is to become a regular at this comic coffee shop, in so much that he walks up and the barista already knows his name and what he wants, and either has it already made or is typing it in or whatever, which I will tell you, I love that when I have a place that I go to all the time that I just walk up and I hand them my card and they're like, okay, we'll bring it right out. You feel like you just won, right? So there is this fun through line for this book in which that is part of what's going on. And it is just so delightful to see. And they talk about sharing quips in which, like Miles is like, I don't know about reusing quips. That seems wrong to me because why would I use it? Whatever. And then they have discussions about what borough they're actually from. It is really, really great. And you can see where this is going. I always love these two together. They make a really good pairing. Definitely add it. It might be one of those that gets missed this week in your piles just because there's so many other big Marvel books that are out, but don't miss this. If you like either of these two characters, you will love this book.
The first Spider-Man book made me cry. It reminded me why I love comics when I read it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, that's cool, Meg too.
All right, here we go.
Spin that wheel.
And the winner of our book today is Make Two. Make Two has won X-Men. What if Mickey and friends gained mutant powers? This is what is this book, Jay? I don't even remember now.
That's a 1 in something.
This is
Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, number 39.
Yeah. Yes. Although I think this might be the wrong cover. Anyway, you want a Disney variant. Yay! So, I will send you the actual image once you fill out the form that I am going to put in the comments right now. You have 24 hours to fill out the form. Otherwise, your giveaway gets given away again. So make sure you get that taken care of right away there. Make Two. Get that filled out, and we will get the book out to you ASAP. I know we're burying Rex in giveaways, so give him a few days to get unburied, but he will be taking care of that in the very near future. Also, as always, super important to us here at the EXP and on this show in particular, that you visit your local comic shop. Make Two's also sells coffee. I have an idea for a comic shop that will make a fortune, but it's wildly illegal. Anyway, I want to open a comic shop and dispensary.
Cannabis and comics.
Make a lot of money. But you can't because
to a different state.
Well, no, it's legal here, but terms of service with every distributor says you can't.
So, oh, that's right. They're indicated.
Wildly problematic. Yeah. So, but find a comic shop nearby to you by going to comicshoplocator.com, comicshoplocator.com, and type in the numbers of the area where you are, and it will tell you where there are comic shops nearby to you.
Also, I had an excellent interview this week with Lara Pickle, all the way from London, about her new book from Oni Press, I Feel Awful, Thanks, about a young witch who is having some emotional distress and seeks out therapy help, and it is delightful and really great. So she also works in animation and movies and other stuff, so she's got huge skills. You can catch that Absolutely. On our Talkin' Shop review.
So, Ed, even I'm angry at that one, and I love that joke. So, comicshoplocator.com. Stay tuned for Mint Hunter. He's got a giveaway. And then Henri has a giveaway after that. And then we have giveaways all day on Wednesday, all day on Thursday, all day on Friday, on Saturday with Jam, on Sunday with Fat Jacks. But Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock, here on The Experience, Black Comics Universe, BCU, hosted by our good friend Imani Latif, returns. We're going to be doing that live 10 to 6-ish, 7-ish. We're still figuring that out. But some of our guests include Todd Johnson, Larry Stroman from Tribe, Christopher Priest, who you may know from his work with a certain collared lady, aka Vampirella, plus Fabrice Sapolsky and Crystal Adams from Fair Square, and a number of other great creators will be joining us all day on Saturday. So make sure you set your alarms and calendars and all that kind of stuff for Black Comics Universe this Saturday, only on the EXP.
Thank you guys so much for all your support. We appreciate it. We feel the love. You guys showed out in force today. We hope our reviews give you some kind of help in what you're going to go and grab at your LCSs this week.
And we'll see you next time.
Perfect.
Bye.